Ladies and gentlemen, it has not been easy for a lot of these migrant workers, especially on farms. Now, if you remember, back during the first lockdown in March of 2020, I did a story out of California where every single farm worker had COVID. Every single one had it. And this has not stopped happening all over the country, by the way. And many of them have died. Now, because they are immigrants, you don't hear a lot about their story and everything that, been going on with them since COVID has hit the US. Now, they want to prioritize many of these vaccines, and they want a lot of them to come to the migrants because of what they do. When you really think about it, y'all, it would not just impact them on the job because just look at those crops. Those crops are close together. It's hard to social distance and do your job out there. That's why they tell you they can't do that. And in many cases, these immigrants tend to live a lot of people in a home. And I'm certain, that sure doesn't help the situation either. So this one comes out of Florida. This is NBC News. A death sentence activists call on Florida governor to prioritize vaccines for farm workers. So the infection rate is, the last time I looked, it is in like the double digits, like 30% or even more, depending on, where the farm is and how many farm workers they have. On a farm in Plant City, Florida, Maria Alvarez and her husband have been working throughout the pandemic, picking what is in season and planting for the next. Alvarez, 34, is worried about getting infected with COVID-19 while she works with dozens of other migrant workers during the shift. So they work up to 12-hour shifts out there, 12-hour shifts. When we arrived to pick the boxes, we're very close to each other. Then we head back to go picking, and we're still close. So there's no social distancing. Alvarez is eager to get vaccinated, saying it would be a shield for her. Farm worker organizations are pleading with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to make the vaccine priority to these farm workers. Advocates cite the risk facing workers to live and work in crowded conditions, and that they do, and are often not given protective equipment by employers, making them vulnerable to infection. A lot of employers do that. They have this expectation for you to work, but they don't give you any kind of PPE. I even hear that around here from the postal workers. They do a job that must be done 6 days out of the week, but they don't want to give them PPE. They got to supply that for themselves. Now, what happens when you have people living, three families to a house, and you're denied a vaccination? It's like a death sentence. And this is out of Lake Worth, Florida. Okay. So Ron DeSantis, and they called him out, y'all, because he was seen at the Super Bowl and didn't have a mask on, and he got called out over that. Okay, his past remarks associating the spread of COVID-19 on farm workers and day laborers, he saw an opportunity for his nonprofit to help inoculate these farm workers. So DeSantis broke the guidelines from the CDC and announced in December that the state would focus on vaccinating residents over 65 after the first round went to healthcare workers instead of prioritizing essential workers such as public transportation employees or teachers. Do you know, y'all, they are planning on opening up some of these schools, and the CDC just put out an announcement saying the teachers do not have to have the vaccine to return back to class. Interesting, right? Okay. So farm workers are listed as essential workers, of course, because the food they pick will go out nationwide. So it is a necessary job. So let's go down. In many ways, recognizing farm workers as essential has kept the people in Florida from falling into uncertainty, which means empty grocery store shelves, which is a possibility if these folks can't do their jobs. Florida, with a population of over 21 million, has had the third largest number of COVID cases in the United States over the past several days, just like Texas and California. And I know it's high in Florida. That's why Ron DeSantis is hiding these numbers. He has not showed these numbers forever now. And, even Rebecca Jones was saying that all of his numbers are undercount, fudge numbers. Vaccinations are the latest hurdle for farm workers since the pandemic began. When the spring harvest was underway, they were forced to beg the state for medical supplies and protective equipment that arrived late. Over the summer, there was a surge of COVID-19 cases in agricultural communities, but testing was limited. Doctors Without Borders and International Humanitarian Group sent teams to Florida to help set up mobile clinics. Farm workers are uniquely vulnerable to infection. Um, mm-mm-mm. Vaccinating farm workers would reduce hospitalization and mortality rate. If they don't have PPE on, y'all, and they don't have any type of protective gear, and they're touching the vegetables, wouldn't some of those vegetables have the COVID in it? You know what I mean? Like if you're pulling carrots and stuff out of the ground and you're touching that and you have no PPE, wouldn't you run the risk of COVID being in the food? It would have to be in the food supply at this point. How would it not be there? I'm just saying. A letter to the governor stated that among 600 farm workers in Palm Beach County who were regularly tested for COVID-19, the positivity rate was consistently 30%, a higher number that worries advocates. DeSantis' office did not respond by request of NBC News for comment. Mm-mm-mm. Well, y'all, this thing will get worse before it gets better. It really will. A lot of folks are still talking, oh, it's going to be better by summer. I guess their crystal ball is better than mine because I'm not seeing that. America has never gotten this thing under control. So, how the hell can things get better? You didn't even get the first coronavirus from back in 2020 under control. And now you got all these variants in the country. You don't have those under control either. And you got to make more vaccines because you ran out, you know? And I see around me, a lot of the pharmacies are announcing they're going to have the virus shots there. It was CVS and Walgreens made their announcements, I believe, yesterday. And they're going to have it set up where you can just walk in there and get the shot just like you can get the flu shot, which I'm not interested in any shot from this place. I don't trust nothing these folks put out, nothing, you know, and they should not have any expectation for us to trust them either. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this story. There's more immigrants coming, and these are usually the kind of jobs they get out here on farms. And I'm just telling y'all, things are not going to go so well for them. It is just not. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.